in terms of what we're going to do today is the liver and the gallbladder. I'm actually going to put my glasses on. So the liver and the gallbladder are two channels that pertain to the wood element, and the wood element comes so it's basically on the inside of the leg and on the outside of the leg, okay? So you've got the liver channel that starts on the big toe and then goes on the inside of the leg, circles around the genitals and then comes up into the rib cage. And the gallbladder channel starts at the edge of the eye, and then it goes into the ear, circles around the ear, circles on the head, comes onto the front, and then it zigzags into the torso, and then it goes onto the side of the leg until it goes into the fourth toe. So what we're going to do today is basically a lot of exercises that stretch the inside and the outside of the legs and the sides of the body, okay? So if we come with the feet hip-width apart, the knees are soft, and then we're gonna start just looking down towards the floor, looking up towards the ceiling, looking straight ahead, look towards the right and the left, look straight ahead, ear towards the shoulder without lifting the shoulder, and ear towards the other shoulder without lifting the shoulder. And then circling the arms, bringing the shoulders up towards the ears and then dropping them, bringing up towards the ears and dropping them, and the other way around. So circling them forward and circling them forward. And then you're placing your hands on the hips, start making circles. Make sure that the knees are soft. Circles in one direction. And then circles on the other. And then just come into the middle and start bringing the arms, so swing the arms either side. So you're sort of banging the arms to the sides of the body. And this is also one of the exercises that you do to sort of loosen up your liver channel, okay? And then come back to the center. Bend forward, place your hands on the inside of the knees, start warming up the knees on the inside, on the front, on the sides, and on the back of the knees. And then come back up and stretch the right toes, start making circles one direction and then the other. And then stretch the toes of the left foot, and then start making circles one direction and then the other. Okay, so now have your feet hip-width apart, and then place your right hand alongside the body, and then bring your left hand up towards the ceiling and lean towards your right, so you're stretching the left side of the body. And then come back to the center. Left hand by the leg, right hand up towards the ceiling and lean towards your left, looking up towards the ceiling, stretching the right side of the body. And then come back to the center, and the Qigong exercise for the liver is to bring in your elbows by your sides, making a fist with the hands, with the palms facing up towards the ceiling. On the inhale, you're punching forward and you're bringing the palms down. On the exhale, you're swapping over. So first you're gonna start getting a sort of rhythm, and then you're just going faster and faster, following the breath. And this sort of gives a little bit of so the liver energy likes movement and likes exercise. So basically you're doing this, trying to keep your knees soft, and we're gonna do it for just 3 or 4 more times. And then you come back to the center. Bring yourself to the top of the mat. Big toes are touching. And then grab hold of the block. So you've got the block on the outside of your left foot. On the next inhale, hands on the hips. You're stepping with the right foot 2/3 of the mat. Toes of the right foot pointing towards the top right corner of the mat. And then on the next inhale, you're bending the front leg, placing your left hand on the block on the outside of the left foot. Turn the torso towards your left. So you really want to turn the torso towards the right, so that when you're bringing your arm all the way around, you're really feeling the stretch onto the sides of the right. And then you're either looking straight ahead or looking up towards the ceiling, really feeling that stretch onto the sides of the body, especially the right side. Inhaling to the count of 5 and exhaling to the count of 5. And really focus onto the sides of the right part of the body. One more breath here, inhaling to the count of 5. Try to bring the shoulder towards the spine so that you're not bringing the shoulder towards the right here. And then on the next inhale, looking down towards the floor. Exhale, bring your hands parallel to the floor. Inhale, hands on the hips, and exhale, you step into the front of the mat. We're going to do it on the other side, bringing the block towards the outside of the right foot. Feet together, hands on the hips. You're stepping with the left foot 2/3 of the mat. Turning the toes towards the top left corner of the mat. And then on the next inhale, you're bending the front leg. Place your right hand directly on the mat or on the block outside the right foot. And then on the exhale, you're turning the torso towards your left, bringing your left arm all the way around so that the palms are facing down towards the floor. And you're trying to bring that shoulder back towards the spine, so you're not bringing the shoulder towards the ear. And you're really feeling now that stretch onto the left side of the body, from the foot all the way into the torso and into the sides of the body. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. You're looking either straight ahead or towards the ceiling. Slowing the breath and then turning the torso towards your left. Last breath here, inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5, and then on the next inhale, looking down towards the floor. Exhale, bringing your hands parallel to the floor. Inhale, hands on the hips, and exhale, you step into the front of the mat. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. And now you're coming into the sides of the mat, and you're bringing your feet hip-width apart, with the feet slightly at an angle of 45 degrees. So the feet are pointing towards the sides of the mat. Hands on the hips. On the next inhale, you're starting to kneel down, and you want to sit in between the feet, bringing the hands in front of your chest on the inside of the legs. And then pushing with your elbows onto the inside of the knees. You're trying to keep your heels down towards the floor. If you're finding that difficult, grab hold of the block and placing it underneath the heels so that you're lifting the heels a little bit. And now you're pushing your chest forward, tucking your pelvis under, feeling the stretch onto the inside of the leg. So at this point, we're stretching the liver channel, which runs on the inside of the legs. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. So you're feeling the stretch all the way on the inside of the legs, also going into the groins, pushing the chest forward, tucking your pelvis under. Last breath here, inhaling to the count of 5 and exhaling to the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, if you have the block, get rid of it, and you're standing up, pushing yourself up with through the heels, placing your hands on the hips, coming to the top of the mat. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. Okay, so the next one, we're now again doing the outside of the leg, okay? So two options here. So you're on the next inhale, you're placing all your weight onto the left leg, and exhale, you're lifting the right leg off the floor. Now the first option is to keep your leg bent, placing your left hand on the outside of the right knee, turning your torso towards your right, bringing your right arm out to the back of you with the thumb facing up towards the ceiling. If you want to go further, you're grabbing hold of the edge of the foot with the left hand, extend the right leg, extend the right arm. Inhale into the count of 5 and exhale into the count of 5. Not great at balance today. So feel the stretch onto the outside of the right leg, but you're also feeling it onto the sides of the right torso. One last breath here. Inhale into the count of 5. Exhale into the count of 5. On the next inhale, turn the torso back towards the center, straighten the right leg and release it. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. And we're going to do it on the other side. So place all your weight onto the right leg, hands on the hips. On the next inhale, lift the left leg off the floor, and then either you grab hold of the foot or you're placing your arm on the outside of the left knee, and then extend the left leg and extend the left arm behind you, looking either straight towards your left or towards your left hand, thumbs facing up towards the ceiling. Inhale into the count of 5 and exhale into the count of 5. One more breath here. Inhale into the count of 5. Exhale into the count of 5. Come back and look towards the front. Place your hands on the hips. Straighten the left leg and release it, giving yourself a little bit of a shake. Okay, so before I show you what we're going to do first, because we're transitioning from one position to the other. So we're going to do the Pigeon Pose, which is this here. Okay, so we're coming into this position, and then from here you're placing your hands on the floor, tucking the toes on, that you're lifting. In the Pigeon Pose, the knee is on the outside, on the side of the head, but then you're bringing the knee on the other side, and then you're coming into Gate Pose, okay? So we're gonna do it together. Okay, on the next inhale, bring your feet together, top of the mat. Bring your hands up towards the ceiling, and exhale, you're folding forward. Inhale, press through the hands, look forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bend the knees, hands on the mat, step the left leg out into a lunge, right leg to meet it into a high plank, and then push yourself into a downward dog. Looking down towards your feet, start walking your feet into the middle of the mat so that basically the big toes are touching. On the next inhale, lift your right leg off the floor, and exhale, you're bringing your right knee as close as you can towards the right wrist. The right knee should touch the edge of the mat, okay? So the right knee should be further out than your right hip, and you're bringing the lower leg across the mat, left leg down into the middle of the mat. 3 options here. Either you're pushing your chest forward, hands underneath the shoulders, looking forward, or on your forearms, just looking down onto the mat, so the chin is slightly to the chest, the neck is nice and long. Or you're directly with the forehead down onto the floor. Try not to collapse onto your right glute, so the right buttock should be off the floor. And you can also achieve that by placing a block underneath the right glute, or rolling onto that right leg, so the lower leg, so that you're lifting that buttock off the floor. Feel the stretch onto the sides of the leg. So this time we're working onto the gallbladder channel, and really breathing into that area of the glutes and of the side of the leg that is getting stretched at the moment. Lengthen the breath and use the breath to just relax any part of the body that in this position feels very tight. One long last breath here. Inhale into the count of 5. and exhaling to the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, place your hands underneath the shoulders. Now tuck your left toes under, lift the left leg off the floor, and you're bringing that right knee towards the chest. This time you're bringing the right knee towards the left hand. So it comes across on the opposite side of where the pigeon pose was, and you're turning towards the left, placing your left foot onto the floor across the mat. So you're on your knee, right knee, and the leg is just going across the mat in the opposite direction. Left hand by the left leg, right hand up towards the ceiling. Inhale, suck the belly in, lengthen the spine, and exhale. So you're sliding in one direction. So it's almost as if you're going in through 2 panes of glass into the toaster, sometimes people say. And you're leaning across the left hand, really stretching the right side of the body, but you're also feeling the stretch on the inside of the left leg. You're looking either straight ahead or slightly up towards the ceiling. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. One more breath here. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. On the next inhale, you're coming back to the center. Now you're turning towards the right to place your hands onto the mat, lifting that right leg off the floor, coming back into a downward dog. So you're pedaling your feet into the downward dog. I'm going to change direction. And then start walking your feet into the middle of the mat until the big toes are touching. And then on the next inhale, lift the left leg off the floor and exhale, bring the left knee towards your chest, and you're coming forward until you're bringing your left knee as close as you can towards the left hand. The knee is almost at the edge of the mat, and then you're bringing the lower leg across the mat, right leg onto the mat, into the middle of the mat, and then you're placing either your forearms or your hands underneath the shoulders, chest forward, looking forward, forearms onto the floor, the elbows are underneath the shoulders, looking down towards the mat, or arms forward and your line onto your forehead. Try not to collapse onto your left glute. So either you're rolling forward onto the left leg, or you're placing a block underneath the left glute. And again, you can close your eyes if you want to. Focus on the breath here. Nice and long breaths. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. Try to breathe through the nose only. And use the breath to really relax any part of the body that feels tight into this position. And then one long last breath here. Inhaling to the count of 5 and exhaling to the count of 5. On the next inhale, you're bringing your hands underneath the shoulders, tuck your right toes under, lift the right leg off the floor, bring your left knee towards your chest, and this time you're bringing your left knee towards the right hand, leg across the mat, and then you're coming up so that the right leg is straight, facing the edge of the mat, and you're on your left leg with the knee in front and the leg across with the toes pointing towards the back of the mat. Right hand onto the right leg, and now try to bend into a line. So you're not twisting or turning, you're trying to slide as if you're going into a toaster, okay? As if your body is going into a toaster. And now bring your left hand up towards the ceiling, and on the next inhale, suck the belly in, lengthen the spine. On the exhale, you're sliding the right hand down onto the right leg and feeling that stretch onto the side of the left torso, but also on the inside of the right leg. And you're either looking straight ahead or looking up towards the ceiling. Inhaling to the count of 5 and exhaling to the count of 5. One more breath here. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, you're coming back up. Place your hands onto the left side of the mat. Come back into hands and knees and come down into a child pose. Relaxing your forehead down onto the floor, hands forward, stretching the front of the shoulders. One more breath here, and then on the next inhale, start bringing your hands towards the body until you're sitting on your heels, and then transfer the bum either side of the feet so that you can sit with your legs forward. Remove the flesh away from your buttock, and then you're gonna do, there's two options here, okay? So the first version, which is the easier, is you're keeping your left leg straight and you're hugging the right knee towards the chest, grabbing hold of the edge of the foot and trying to bring that foot as close as you can towards your left glute, your left glute, with the knee above the left knee, okay? So the right knee is right above the left. Otherwise, you're bending the knees and you're placing first the left foot across the side, so that basically is touching the side of the glute and the right knee on top. Either way, you're placing your hands by the sides with the fingers pointing forward, and then you're lifting the left hand up towards the ceiling, bending the right elbow, you're bending towards the right, looking up towards the ceiling. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. One more breath here, inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5, and inhale, come back to the center. Now you're placing the left hand just by the right foot with the fingers pointing up towards the ceiling. Inhale, bring your right hand up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend the left elbow, lean towards your left, looking up towards the ceiling. Sucking the belly in, feeling the stretch onto the right glute, but also onto the sides of the body. Inhaling to the count of 5, and exhaling to the count of 5. One long last breath here, and then on the next inhale, come back to the center. First, you're releasing the right leg and then the left. We're going to do it on the other side. So you're straightening the right leg. The first version is bringing your left knee towards your chest. Grab hold of the left edge of the foot with your right hand, bringing that foot as close as you can towards the glute. So the left knee is on top of the right knee. And then you're having the hands either side. Otherwise, you're bending the knees. This time you're bringing your right foot first, then the left, so that the left knee is on top of the right this time, and the feet are on the sides of the glutes. And then first you're starting with the right hand down onto the floor. Inhale, bring your hands up towards the ceiling, and exhale, bend the right elbow and lean towards your left, looking up towards the ceiling slightly. Inhaling to the count of 5 and exhaling to the count of 5. One last breath here. Inhaling to the count of 5, Exhale into the count of 5. On the next inhale, come back to the center. Left hand by the buttocks, right hand up towards the ceiling, fingers pointing towards the front with your left hand. Inhale, suck the belly in, lengthen the spine, and exhale, bend the left elbow, lean towards your left, looking up towards the ceiling, feeling the stretch onto the right side of the body this time. Inhale into the count of 5, and exhale into the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, come back to the center. Release the left leg first and then the right. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. Okay, and now you're opening the legs to the sides. First, remove the flesh away from the buttocks so you can tilt your pelvis forward. And the hands are slightly as just in front of your groin. Point the toes up towards the ceiling and lean slightly forward. You can walk your hands forward if you want to. So we're stretching obviously the inside of the legs now, okay? Inhale into the count of 5 and exhale into the count of 5. Try to press the knees down towards the floor so you're keeping your legs as straight as you can, and that's when you're really feeling the stretch onto the back of the legs and the inside of the legs. And then on the next inhale, start walking your hands back to the center. Hug the right knee towards the chest, so bring the right foot as close as you can towards the groin. And then your left hand is by the left leg. You're placing the right hand on top of the knee. And then on the next inhale, you're pressing onto that knee with the hand. So you're turning the torso towards your right. As you're keeping the torso where it is, you're inhaling, suck the belly in, lengthen the spine, and on the exhale, you're sliding that left hand down onto the left leg. And if you want, you can bring your right arm all the way around, looking towards your armpit. That's the safest thing for your neck. Otherwise, you're looking up towards the ceiling. If you're quite flexible, you can bring your left arm on the inside of the left leg, and then you're grabbing hold of the feet with the hands, turning the torso towards your right. So the most important thing here is that you're feeling the stretch onto the sides of the right body. It doesn't matter where you are, we're just opening up the sides of the body so that you're really stretching, but you're also feeling the stretch on the inside of the legs as well. One more breath here. Inhale into the count of 5 and exhale into the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, come back to the center. Swap the legs over. So you're straightening the right leg and you're bringing the left heel as close as you can towards your groin. Straighten the right leg by pointing the toes up towards the ceiling. Right hand by the right leg, left hand on top of the knee. On the next inhale, press through the hands, through the knees, so that basically you're turning the torso towards your left. And then as you're keeping the torso where it is, pointing towards the left, you're sliding that right hand down towards the floor, bringing your left arm over the head, so that you're basically feeling the stretch onto the left side of the body and on the inside of both legs, but especially the right leg. And then if you want to go further, you're bringing your right arm on the inside of the right leg, grabbing hold of the foot from the inside, and then if you want, you can turn the torso towards your left. It doesn't matter where you are, as long as you're feeling the stretch onto the sides of the body. Inhale into the count of 5. Slightly tuck the chin under, so that basically you're tucking the chin to the chest, and you can still look up towards the ceiling or towards your left shoulder. And then on the next inhale, come back to the center and release the legs and come back into the mat. I'm going to show you what we're going to do next, because we're lying down, so you might not be able to see me. So what we're going to do, we're going to first look, okay? Look, watch first. So we're going to lie onto your back, and then we're going to bring the right leg, the left leg over the right, okay? No, sorry, the right leg over the left. And then what you're going to do, so one knee is on top of the other, you're trying to grab hold of the edges of the feet, and then you're trying to bring those heels towards the glutes. That's really opening up the sort of sides of the glutes and the sides of the legs. So we're staying here for a couple of minutes, for 1 or 2 minutes. And then once we're done with that, you're bringing the bottom legs, which is the left, down onto the floor. You're still grabbing hold of that foot, and then you're turning towards your left, so that you're opening up the right leg forward, and you're sort of staying here, trying to keep both shoulders down onto the floor, okay? So bring yourself into the middle of the mat. Place your hands on top of your knees. Roll yourself onto your back, hugging the knees to the chest. And then you're bringing your right knee on top of the left knee. So the right leg is on top of the left leg. And then with your hands, even if it means you have to hold the head up for a second, grab hold of the edges of the feet. So, and then you're bringing the feet towards the bum, relaxing the head down onto the floor, really pushing those feet onto the glutes. Inhale into the count of 5 and exhale into the count of 5. Close your eyes, just relax for a second or two into this position. And just really breathe into any areas of the knees or the glutes or the sides of the legs that feels uncomfortable. If you're feeling these too uncomfortable, just grab hold of the lower leg a little bit more, so you don't have to grab hold of the feet. You can just grab higher up and just pull those legs towards the opposite side, so you're really getting the same sensation but not so deep. You can also put it on the knees and pull the knees apart. One long last breath here. Inhale into the count of 5 and exhale into the count of 5. And now you're still grabbing hold of the feet, but you're bringing the left leg, which is the lower leg, down onto the floor. So you're bringing the side of the left leg down onto the mat. And now you're turning towards your left, and either you keep your leg bent, so you're trying to bring the right knee down onto the floor, or you can extend that leg forward, and you're trying to sort of look towards your right leg, but keeping the shoulders onto the floor. One long last breath here. Inhale into the count of 5. Exhale into the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, hug the right knee towards the chest and start bringing the legs back and the head back onto the center. Hug the knees to the chest, so you undo the legs. And then we're going to do it the opposite side. So the left knee goes over the right knee, and first you can grab hold of the shins and start bringing them towards you, or you grab hold of the opposite feet at the edge of the feet and try to bring those feet towards the glutes. feeling that stretch onto the sides of the glutes, but also the sides of the legs. You can close your eyes if you want to. Tuck the chin to the chest so you're not overextending your neck. Inhale into the count of 5. Exhale into the count of 5. Okay, and now we're gonna bring the right leg down onto the floor. So you're still grabbing hold of the foot and the side of the right leg is onto the floor. You're turning towards your right and you're either extending the right leg or you can keep the knee bent. And then you're really trying to keep the shoulders down and you're looking towards your left leg. Inhale into the count of 5 and exhale into the count of 5. And then very gently bring your head back to the center, left knee, and then hug both knees to the chest. Releasing the chest and releasing the legs. So you're hugging the knees as close as you can towards your chest so that you're releasing the front of the hips, chin to chest. And now we're going to do one last move, which is basically we're trying to bring the body, so the feet are as close to the right side of the mat. Your hips are on the left side of the mat and your shoulders are on the right side of the mat. So you're stretching the body this side. So if this goes off, so this is the last pose and then you can do the meditation, okay? And then you can carry on with the meditation into my YouTube channel, which is In2 Health. And then from next week, we've got the Saturday online class at 9:45 with Kings. So we're switching into that. And it's on Google Teams. I'm pretty sure you've been notified. So just sign up to that class and we're going to start with that Saturday classes at the moment, which is in the morning 9:45 to 10:45, okay? So feel the stretch onto the left side of the body and then come back into the center. You're bringing the hips as close as you can towards the right side of the mat. The feet are on the side and the shoulders are on the side and you're stretching that right side of the body. And then come back into the center and relax yourself into the Shivasana pose.